Grace Kids, it is so great to be joining you again today for Grace Kids TV. My name is Mr. Gary, and I have the opportunity to serve here at Grace Church as the Director of Grace Kids Media, which is basically Grace Kids TV. So super excited to be joining you today, especially because I have some really exciting news to share. In 2 weeks from today, we are going to have a brand new Grace Kids TV. It's going to be super exciting. Lots of different changes, but with all the same great content inside of it. I'm not going to share too much about it now, though, because we're going to have some friends at the very end of today's episode that are going to kind of show you some new things that are going to happen and what it's going to look like a little bit. Hopefully get you a little bit excited for the new Grace Kids TV starting October 1st. Again, just 2 weeks from today. Really excited about that, but I'll let them tell you more about that at the end of today's episode. In today's Bible story, we are going to learn about Jesus warning people about not loving other people. We're going to learn today about how the religious leaders didn't really follow God's law and how even though they maybe tried to look like they were good and would try to do good things, their hearts actually weren't in the right place and they actually weren't making good choices. They're trying to do things for themselves and they wanted all the attention from the people rather than honoring God and rather than helping those people around them. Now, we can't obey God's law perfectly either, but Jesus, our perfect prophet, did. He not only taught other people about God's law as a prophet, but he also lived every word of the law perfectly when he was on earth. Jesus loved God and people in everything that he said and did. But before we get too much into today's Bible story, let's head over to Grace Kids Trivia and let's see what you remember from last week's story about the religious leaders trying to trick Jesus by asking him questions. Good luck! Question 1, true or false? The religious leaders tried to trick Jesus by asking a question. And the answer is true. This was true. After the religious leaders heard Jesus teaching, they decided to try to trick him by asking if it is right to pay money to the government. Jesus said, "Why are you trying to trick me?" Then he answered their question by saying to give to the government what is theirs and to give to God what is God's. The men were amazed by his answer and they went away. Question 2, true or false? Later, the religious leaders asked Jesus what the least important commandment was. And the answer is false. This was not true. The leaders actually asked Jesus which command in the law was the most important of all. And that leads us to our next question of the day. Question 3, true or false? Jesus said that the most important commandment was to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. And the answer is true. This was true. This was the commandment that Jesus said was the most important of all. Then Jesus said the second most important commandment was similar, to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Question 4, true or false? Finally, Jesus asked the religious leaders a question that stumped them. And the answer is true. This was true. Jesus asked the religious leaders whose son is the Messiah, basically asking who Jesus' father was. The religious leaders said David was Jesus' father, but then he asked them why David would call his own son Lord. The religious leaders didn't know what to say, so they didn't ask Jesus any more questions. And our final question of the day, question 5, true or false? When Jesus answered the religious leaders' questions, he was frustrated that they tried to trick him. And the answer is false. This was not true. When the religious leaders asked Jesus questions, Jesus answered with wisdom. Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God. He came to earth to show us what God is like.
friends, it's me, Megan. And me, Jessie. Megan, my friend Lil, is coming over to my house to play tomorrow, and I am so excited.
That sounds like fun, Jessie. What are you guys gonna do?
Well, first, we are going to eat my mom's famous chocolate chip pancakes. Then we'll go outside and jump on the trampoline, and we might play with my new race cars, but I'm not sure about that yet.
Well, why don't you want to play with your new race cars, Jessie?
I mean, I do want to play with my race cars. They're so fast and shiny. I just don't want Lil to play with my race cars. What if he gets mud stuck in the wheels?
Well, even if that happened, Jessie, you could have a car wash and clean them up. You know, sharing toys with friends is the right thing to do, and it can be fun.
I know that sharing my race cars with Lil is the right thing to do. I just don't want to do it, Megan.
Jessie, you kind of sound like the religious leaders in our Bible story today. They knew they should love others, but they were not doing it. They loved themselves instead.
Oh, but I do want to love my friends, Megan. How can I do that even when I don't feel like it?
Well, you have to ask God to help you. God has the power to change our hearts so we can love God and love others. Let's watch to learn more. One day, Jesus spoke to crowds of people and to his followers. He said, "The religious leaders tell you about God's law. You should obey this law." Then he told them, "But do not be like the religious leaders, because they tell you to do one thing, but they don't do it themselves. They make up rules for you to follow, but they do not follow their own rules." The religious leaders believed the right things, but they were doing something wrong. Jesus said that these leaders really wanted other people to think they were great. They liked getting all the attention and being called teacher by others. Jesus said, "You have one teacher, and you are all brothers and sisters. You have one Father, God, who is in heaven. The person who exalts himself will be humbled, and the person who humbles himself will be exalted." Jesus warned the religious leaders, "It will be terrible for you leaders who get people to follow you, but you lead them away from God. You care more about following rules than showing justice, mercy, and faithfulness." Jesus said the religious leaders looked clean on the outside, but were dirty on the inside. You wash the outside of the cup and dish, but you are greedy and selfish. Finally, Jesus said to these leaders, "You are like a family of poisonous snakes, and you will be punished." Jesus said that the greatest commandments are to love God and love others. The religious leaders loved themselves most of all. When we trust in Jesus, He makes us right with God and changes our hearts so we can love and obey Him.
Hi Grace Kids! For our craft today, we're going to make a poster. This poster you're going to be able to take home so that you can remember the Bible story that we learned today. So you're going to get this paper that has a big O, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to write in the rest of the poster. So you need the poster, and then you need something to color with, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. Are you ready? Okay, so we gave you the poster that has the letter O, so you're going to finish the word obey. So you're going to write a B, an E, and a Y. And you can make them as fancy or not fancy as you want. if you want to decorate yours more, you can even do more decorating if you wanted to. And at the bottom it says, when we trust in Jesus, he changes our hearts so we can love and obey him. And our story today is from Matthew chapter 22, verses 37 through 39. I'm super excited for you to make your poster that says obey, and for it to remind you of the Bible story that we learned today, that we don't have to live like the leaders in the Bible story, that we can live and trust in Jesus and obey his commands. Thanks so much for watching Grace Kids TV. Have so much fun.
Hey, Grace Kids, my name is Scooter.
And my name is Stanley, and we have some really exciting news to share with you.
Yes, we do. Starting October 1st, Grace Kids TV is going to have a brand new look.
Not only will there be a weekly episode of Grace Kids TV, but now there will be 2 episodes of Grace Kids TV each week. One of the episodes will be for our younger Grace Kids all the way up to 1st grade. This will be called Grace Kids TV Junior.
And the other episode each week will still be called Grace Kids TV. And that will be the episode for 2nd through 6th grade students.
So you might be wondering, what changes will there be for the new Grace Kids TV? What changes might we see, Scooter?
The biggest change you'll notice is how different episodes will look. We'll have new videos each week, new friends like us to join you, brand new, super fun weekly games to play, and so much more.
That's right! And what will stay the same, you might ask? The same great content each week, including your Bible story, a weekly craft, our memory verse, and even more!
We will be celebrating the new Grace Kids TV by holding an art contest starting October 1st. Art contest pages will be available to color, paint, beadwork. You can be as creative as you'd like.
Our Grace Kids team will be choosing one winner for each age for ages 2 to 12. If you're between ages 2 and 6 years old, you can win a Scooter or Stanley stuffed animal.
And if you are between ages 7 and 12, you can win a $25 Mitchell's Ice Cream gift card.
I love ice cream!
Me too, man. But those aren't the only prizes, right, Stanley?
You're right. There are also some grand prizes, too. Everyone who enters the contest will be entered into a raffle for 2 separate grand prizes. The grand prize for Grace Kids between ages 2 and 6 is a brand new Amazon Fire HD 8 Kids tablet.
And the grand prize for Grace Kids between ages 7 to 12 is a Radio Valac BMX bike. So be on the lookout for our Grace Kids art contest starting October 1st, the same day that our new Grace Kids TV will begin.
We even have a brand new Grace Kids shirt that you, your teachers, and your family can pre-order starting on October 1st too. Definitely lots to look forward to. We can't wait to join you for Grace Kids TV and Grace Kids TV Junior.
See you soon!